Prime Minister Narendra Modi says, Bonjour Paris. Modi is in France. He's on a two-day power-packed visit. And very interesting, of course, there will be diplomatic bilaterals, but it's going to be a rousing welcome for the Prime Minister. And it's on the artificial intelligence. That's the key focus. Prime Minister Modi, we are told, has already attended the state dinner hosted by the French President. He also was met, as are the visuals clearly on your screen, with hugs and handshake, smiling and greeting each other. Modi also met US Vice President J.D. Vance and for the first time since he took over the administration, congratulating on his victory. There are world leaders present in France right now. There are CEOs and global tech giants who have arrived for the Artificial Intelligence Action Summit. It is being co-chaired by Prime Minister Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron, which means high-profile dignitaries are currently from across the world in France, watching how India intends to be a big part of this. The Paris summit aims to focus on a global governance model to make artificial intelligence more inclusive while ensuring safe and transparent AI for users across the world. But remember, the focus will be, while of development of AI, but how India can become a hub of it as well. Prime Minister will also inaugurate the first Indian consulate in Marseille in France, pay a visit to the war cemetery. But right when and after the French trip concludes, he heads to the United States of America. That's where it's going to be all the action. He's meeting President Donald Trump as he's taken over the government again.
Merci. And after that, we'll go together for the dinner. Merci à toutes et tous. Merci. Welcome, Mr. Vice President. How are you?
Thank you so much. It's a beautiful place. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
It's great to be here.
Mr. Modi,
Congratulations. Thank you so much. It's so nice to see you.
Great victory.
Yes. Yes.
In this world where I have a good friend in the other part of the ocean saying, drill, baby, drill. Here, there is no need to drill. It's just plug, baby, plug. Electricity is available. You can plug, it's ready. AI can't flourish if there is a fragmented regulatory environment with different rules across different countries and regions. I think when history looks back, it will see this as the beginning of a golden age of innovation. But these outcomes are not guaranteed.
So this, of course, is the big business point. And remember that this is a European nation and an Asian nation, and the chosen one is India, collaborating with France to become the big AI hub. But on the sidelines, what was happening? Of course, when there is the Indian Prime Minister, there's always the Indian diaspora. And therefore, remember the Indian diaspora in Paris, not disappointing Prime Minister Modi. They all congregated together. There was a lot of, as always, music, even bhajans this time. A lot of singing and dancing to welcome PM Modi.
Modi amaru man che, enu abhiman che. Modi amaru man che, enu abhiman che. Modi amari shan che, enu abhiman che.
कितना अच्छा मोमेंट है कि मोदी जी एआई समिट के लिए आए हैं। फ्रांस भी आज भारत को डेवलप कंट्रीज में देख रहा है। इससे हमारी इमेज भारत की जो इतनी ऊपर जा रही है, हर बार मोदी जी की विजिट के साथ कुछ ना कुछ नया अचीव करते हैं। इस बार हम लोग मार्साई में नया कंसुलेट खोल रहा है। हम लोग इंडियन डायस्पोरा के बिहाफ पर एक ही रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं कि एक सांस्कृतिक भवन हो, कल्चरल सेंटर, जो सुषमा स्वराज जी ने इनॉग्रेट किया था।
Let me now bring in this telecast. My colleague Shashank Mattu closely tracks the external affairs. Shashank, good morning. How big or significant is this meeting, you think, of Prime Minister Modi and Macron?
Well, it's extremely significant, of course. Firstly, artificial intelligence has been a major part of how India is looking at its innovation landscape. We've seen, of course, a lot of competition between American and Chinese companies on AI, but we, of course, have had India's government and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav in the past say that India is interested in entering this competition in a big way as well. India is also home to big AI companies that want to make a mark on the global landscape. So governing artificial intelligence, making sure it works for people as well as helps further innovation agendas, that's an important part of India's interest as well, which is why, of course, Prime Minister Modi going for this AI Action Summit is important. But his meetings with Macron are also important for two other reasons. One is defense, and the other is nuclear energy. We know that there are big deals in the pipeline for example, the purchase of Rafale marine jets, as well as for Scorpene naval submarines. That is something that we could see some announcements on. Also on nuclear energy, India is making a big push to manufacture around 100 gigawatts of nuclear power in India. It wants French companies to come and set up nuclear power plants here. It wants French technology on small modular reactors. That is also something that is very likely to come up in this meeting between Macron and Prime Minister Modi that is set to take place today.
So you're telling us important facets that there's, of course, the AI, then there's defense sector as well. Tell us what happens after, because he's met J.D. Vance here, but he intends to, of course, meet Donald Trump 2 days later. So very crucial visit right after France comes in the USA. Tell us about that as well.
It's absolutely going to be an extremely important visit. He's going to, of course, on Wednesday head off towards the United States, where he will meet Donald Trump. And that is, again, another conversation that is going to be packed with top line agenda issues for India, whether you're looking at immigration, both legal and illegal, you're looking at trade, you're looking at defense, China, maintaining America's commitment to the Indo-Pacific. You can see that over the last couple of weeks, a number of world leaders, including Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, as well as Israel's Prime Minister, have gone there. So Prime Minister Modi is one of the first world leaders to first go and meet President Donald Trump and ensure that the US-India relationship is going to be on an even keel in this second Trump administration, communicating India's priorities, understanding Donald Trump's priorities, and making sure that Donald Trump understands that India is a crucial partner for the United States and that relationship should continue undisturbed and should continue to go on to further heights. So that is going to be a crucial diplomatic challenge that Prime Minister Modi will deal with once he leaves France.
Shashank, as we're looking at all of these deals that are going to be finalized, especially let's talk about the defense deals. We have the Aero India Summit, the exhibition that's going on right now here in Bengaluru. But even in Europe, the focus will be for India's defense deals. Just tell us a bit more about that. I'm very curious because I understand that the artificial intelligence, more like future, where India intends to invest, but defense sector, both for Europe and for Asia, especially for India, are very crucial.
You're absolutely right. I think India has worked with France extremely closely for the development of its air power capabilities as well as for its naval capabilities. We know that that the Rafale marine jets, 26 of them are currently being considered for with an estimated and along with the three Scorpene submarines, it comes with around a $10 billion price tag. Of course, the idea is with the Rafale marine jets for these to be assigned to the Indian Navy for the projection of India's naval air power. That is extremely important because India is looking, of course, to replace some of its older Russian jets. We also know that Scorpene submarines are going to be important because India's submarine strength and its submarine fleet needs to be expanded, needs to be built in with new technologies. So, of course, purchasing French submarines is also going to be important towards expanding India's ability to for sea control and for maintaining control over the Indian Ocean and the waters surrounding India. So those are two extremely key defense deals that you're going to see with France. Of course, with the United States, there are going to be conversations about Stryker co-producing Stryker armored vehicles. That is a deal that the two countries are talking about. Of course, as you were mentioning Aero India, of course, a lot of the chatter right now about whether India will go in for the purchase of fifth generation fighter jets, including perhaps the American F-35. That is, of course, a very, very nascent conversation, but nonetheless, it will be on the minds of people here in India thinking about this visit with Donald Trump, as well as on the minds of
Shashank, stay on with me.